What's up, guys? We're here in Brooklyn Gym, Rotterdam. We're back in contest prep, preparing for the next shows. These next weeks, I'm gonna take you in my prep, show you the ins and outs, show you some training, day in the lives, posing, stuff like that. We're preparing for Portugal Pro. We might do something before that, but we're gonna see how the body reacts next couple of weeks before we decide for sure. Well, either way, I'm gonna take you along, show you guys some nice content, and make sure to like and subscribe. We're training calves and arms today, a pretty relaxed workout, you could say. I usually start my training off with calves because it's a weaker muscle group for me, so I'm prioritizing it instead of the other groups. I'm focusing on a big range of motion, good stretch at the bottom. My favorite movement to start with is the standing calf raise, and then I finish it off with a seated calf raise. I'm starting off with 2 warm-up sets just to get the blood flow going, and then I'm doing 3 working sets on this one. For seated calf raise, I'll be doing 1 warm-up set and 2 working sets. Ik heb hier mijn voorgemaakte intra-workout. Die heb ik thuis al voorbereid. Altijd voorbereid zijn natuurlijk. Deze bevat NPS Max, 20 gram Carb X, cyclic dextrin, 10 gram glutamine en 5 gram creatine. Hiermee zorg ik eigenlijk dat ik mijn lichaam verzorg van brandstof met de Carb X en bouwstoffen met de aminozuren die in de NPS Max zitten. Perfect voor tijdens de training. Laatste set, laten tellen. Hier weer hetzelfde als net. Gewoon spanning houden, focussen op een goede stretch. Niet met het gewicht gooien. Mijn laatste 2 shows waren 2024, september en oktober. Ik heb eerst mijn pro-debuut gedaan in Italië. Daar ben ik 4e geworden in een zware line-up met deelnemers zoals Hunter Lebrada, Andrea Presti, Bruno Santos. Dus dat was wel een flinke line-up. Mijn tweede pro-wedstrijd was een paar weken later, nee 1 week later, in de Verenigd Koninkrijk in Londen. Daar ben ik 5e geworden in een nog iets grotere line-up nog. Dus beide waren wel echt mooie winsten voor mij, voor mijn eerste pro-shows. En nu gaan we naar de volgende, de derde pro-show. En mijn doel uiteindelijk is natuurlijk een top 3, maar je weet nooit wie komt. Dus we focussen op gewoon de beste package brengen die we kunnen brengen. After this, we're going to start off with biceps, and then we're finishing off with triceps. Arms is another muscle group for me that I've been trying to improve the past years. Basically, the main feedback has been bring up the arms, bring up the hamstrings to bring a more complete package. So that's what we're working on. Just a heads up, guys, I am multilingual, so I'm going to be doing a bit of English here, a bit of Dutch here. We will have subtitles for the guys so you can all understand what I'm saying. Just so you know, there's going to be both in these videos. Well, since I'm trying to improve the arms, that's why I specifically have this arm day now, the past few months. For biceps, right now, I'm gonna do dumbbell bicep curls. I really like this basic movement that just really targets the biceps well. Afterwards, I'm gonna do a single arm dumbbell preacher curl, where you're really isolating the biceps and taking out any swing from the shoulders. And after, I'm gonna finish with some cable curls, double cable curls, where you can really focus on the long head of the biceps. All right, guys, so I'm currently in prep. I am officially preparing for Portugal Pro. We're officially 7.5 weeks out. Depending on how the physique progresses these coming weeks, we might jump into an earlier show, but I won't be disclosing that yet at this moment. So yeah, stay tuned and you'll find out soon what the next step is. I can feel the gains coming already. All right, we're finished for biceps. I forgot to add, I also do some forearm work right after my bicep training. Honestly, I think it's important to strengthen all the muscles in your forearms, your hands, because if you have a stronger grip, that automatically translates to all your other lifts as well. So that's basically a basic forearm extension. You can do it with an easy bar like that. You can do it with a dumbbell. You're focusing on the main extensor muscles that make up the bulk of the forearm, and you're also strengthening your wrist and hand. All right, this is one of my easier workouts, you can say. Right now, we're obviously in a cutting phase for prep. I'm having 4 low days a week where carbohydrates are much lower and the protein is higher, to make sure you're still sustaining all the muscle mass. And then I have 3 high days where I'm eating a lot more carbohydrates to stay fuller throughout the week. I'm doing every day 30 minutes cardio except on leg days, because we need to keep the legs full for the show. So basically that's how the setup is right now. It might change any of these days, but so far the body is showing tremendous progress. You can do these forearm exercises separately. You can do them as a superset as well if you want to keep it shorter on time. But it's a great way to get more muscle on your forearms, more definition, and of course, just a juicy forearm pump. All right, we started this prep, or we finished this off season with a max weight of about 130 kilograms. Some days a bit heavier, but that was mostly water, of course. Right now, currently this morning, we were 124.8, so we dropped about 5 kilograms so far of fat and water. So it's progressing well, and I'm gonna show you guys the shape when we're done training. All right, we're doing triceps now. I do 3 exercises for triceps. I start off with a basic cable extension using the Vulcan extension, which allows for a greater range of motion. Afterwards, we're gonna do one of my favorite exercises, a seated overhead easy bar extension. It's not an easy exercise, but one of the best for building mass on the triceps. And afterwards, we're going to finish with a single arm cable movement to really isolate each side of the triceps. I like using this extension because you really get a more wider range of motion. So you can really extend the triceps fully compared to just a regular rope. Doe ik eerst weer hier één warm-up setje en twee à drie rack sets. Afhankelijk van hoe het voelt. It's always important to include overhead movements in your tricep training because they really target the long head of the tricep, which is the main head responsible for the size when you're hitting a front double bicep pose. So we just had a guest pose as well on the Siggies about 1.5 weeks ago. It was great to get back on stage, this time in a pretty decent shape, and pose together with the Alpha Subs boys. They're all looking great, and they all have a very bright next couple of shows ahead of them. Looking forward to see what we can all achieve together. A lot of people don't like doing this exercise because it's quite tough, and if you don't know how to do it well, you might have some elbow issues on this one. But if you do it correctly, you can really build up your strength on it and load up a lot of weight, which in turn is going to translate to a lot more tricep mass. As I think a lot of people that are close to me already know, but maybe some of you don't know yet, I've been dealing with some pretty serious injuries for the past years. Specifically my left shoulder that's gotten a lot worse the past 2 years after my last shows. It's gotten to the point where it really does impede your training. Certain exercises become difficult, even posing becomes more difficult. So it's definitely impacting a lot of my bodybuilding, you could say. I've been doing my best to work around it, and it's sort of working, but it's definitely not optimal. But just goes to show, if you put your mind to something, you can still achieve your goals, even with setbacks like that. We're at the last exercise for this workout. I'm doing a single arm cable extension. Single arm is a great way to make sure both sides are getting the same work, because obviously when you're doing a bar movement, your stronger side can naturally take over a little bit. So when you use single side, you're making sure both sides are being worked equally hard. Zit er weer op. Goede sessie vandaag. Goede pomp. Kracht zat er wel redelijk in. Eigenlijk iets beter zelf dan de vorige weken, dus dat is positief. Ook al zit ik op wat lage calorieën natuurlijk. En we gaan nu even de shape checken. Alright guys, that was the training at 7.5 weeks out. Also did some posing. Let me know what you guys think about the shape. Of course, if you want to stay updated, like, subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you have any ideas, leave them in the comments and we'll do them for the next videos.